Course of evolution, some species have gone extinct, like the dinosaurs, you must have heard. All these species keep going extinct. So what are we doing? Are we, advocating some false theory that that human beings are causing extinctions? It is not so, because the basal rate of extinction, that is 0.1 to 1% of the total biodiversity present, goes extinct per year, but right now, that rate is 1,000 to 10,000 times. It's increased because of us. Pritika ma'am explained to you wonderfully, and you ratified them so wonderfully on stage. You could the red wolf from USA who was standing on stage recited the government policies. But I just want to explain, in Ecuador, in 2008, this handsome president, Rafael Correa, he changed the policy of the government. In his country, the nature is not a property of the state. It is an individual, it has its own rights, such that nature can go to the law, to the court, and fight for its rights. It happened after a long struggle the country had to face with the company, an oil company that had squandered its Amazon forests, and the tribal people of that area came together to fight, and so this president was elected and they changed their policy. God knows what is going to happen, when Trump, the capitalist, has been elected. But Obama in his country has made great policies to reduce the carbon emission of United States of America. In our country, Mr. Modi, when I was coming upstairs, on your staircase, there is a picture of Mr. Modi, and he's written there that individual can lead to excellence, but what's needed is collective effort for efficiently delivering an action. So our president is saying that, our prime minister is saying that, sorry, we need to get together and change the course of action that's going in the wrong direction. See, all these policies generally, they seem to have, made a balance between development and conservation. They seem to think that if we conserve our natural resources, if we protect our environment, it will reduce the rate of development in our country. It is not so. We have to think in a way that all of this has to go together. Otherwise, our planet is already doomed. We need to change this concept that we need a balance between resource management and development. So where do we start? See, there were two main changes in our man's history. That's the Neolithic era, when we found fire, wheel, and changed our way of life. And the second was the Industrial Revolution, which spread all over the world like an epidemic. So I think this is my belief, I'm not sure, but I'm sure it will work. There are these 5 factors that we need to change. First is bhasha. To change any community, anything, we need these 5 factors. That is bhasha, bhesh as in the way we dress, bhavan, the way we live, where we live, and bhajan, what we sing, what we dance. I think I missed bhojan, the food we eat. Once we change this, the way we do the things, see, our country was always subsistence based. It was never, fight for production, fight for development. What we need is to go back to our history and learn those lessons. When you tell a tribal not to use pesticides or not to use chemicals for his production, what he will think is, I'm already doing that. I'm not using any pesticides, I'm not using anything, I'm cultivating my crop the way we already have been for the past thousands of years. So I believe that our future, our sustainable future lies in our past. The solution lies in our past. What can the students of Shemrock School do? It's great that you've been to Chandigarh Zoo. It's great that your teachers are helping you become aware of all the problems in our community. But what you can do bit by bit, sitting with, not spending time in front of TV, what you can do is, each one of you should go home and plant a tree of your native Punjab. Go plant a tree of neem, go plant a mango tree, go plant kikar, bale, anything you like. How many of you know what is the state plant, tree of flower? Punjab or Chandigarh, whichever you want to tell. Anybody? The state plant of Chandigarh, yes? Huh? Not the capital of our state, I'm asking, what is the state flower of our state? Punjab? Anybody? It's the rosewood. In Chandigarh, it's the pride of India, the red colored flower. Anybody also knows the state bird? See, this is what I'm telling you. We want to save nature, but we don't know how. We don't know where to start. So the first thing you've got to do is get out there and take a nature walk, learn your plants, learn your animals, know the state bird, know your state plant. Try to plant as many native plants as you can. For each plant that you plant for yourself, you will save the planet. I'm telling you, this is the best way to save the planet. Then I've written next, don't ignore the diversity around you. Every time you're playing in your park, every time you get outside, you should see which insect is where, which butterfly is there, what butterfly is it, which bird is it, what is it pollinating. You should try and understand what ecology is around you. Before going to USA, Ecuador, Malaysia, we need to get down in your own locality and understand the nature that's behind all of this. Then no carpool. You stand at any road in Chandigarh and you'll see more empty seats in cars being transported than people. You can literally experiment right outside your school. More cars will be there with empty seats than people. Is this really subsistence? Is this what is this how we will save our planet? No, we should try as much as we can to, in our little ways, to promote, environmental awareness. Then no to firecrackers. I'm sure all of you, I hope none of you burst crackers this year, or in next 10 years, Delhi will be Chandigarh. Next is when you come to class 11th and you ask your parents for a bike or a scooty. Let's say no and buy electric scooties, and I'm sure by then solar scooties by Tesla will also come. Then the 3 R's. Who can tell me the 3 R's? There, please, yes. Yes. You keep doing that. Don't give up. Reduce, recycle, reuse. Reduce, recycle, reuse. You do not give up. And stop using the things that you can just use and throw, like paper towels or anything that you can just one time use, you shouldn't use. When you're going to a restaurant, there's no need to tell them to pack the leftover food. Take tiffins with you. You know there's going to be leftover food. You take your tiffins and bring it back. Do not use one time use and throw things. Get your trash in order. Put your plastics in a different bag. Put your metals in a different bag. And for your kitchen waste, there's not much these days thanks to preserved foods. You blend them in your blender and you put it in your garden. It's the best manure. You wouldn't have to go after the khad that we buy 10 rupees per kg. You just have to blend it in your blender and put your kitchen waste in your potted plants. Egg shells, banana shells, these are great manure for your plants. Also, we will be coming back to your school for more volunteers and for more outreach programs in villages and more schools. So I request you, the girl and the boy who were comparing, and Roy and David who did the skit, great oration, such confidence. We'd love to have you, please, for the outreach programs. And because we are going to be the new lawyers, the new commerce people, and the new doctors,